Hello and welcome back to Point to Play Games for some more Tangle Tower. The last time we were here, which was quite some time ago now, a few months, we, as Detective Grimoire and his associate, came to this island after being informed that one Freya fellow was murdered. She appeared to have been murdered while painting the likeness of Flora fellows up in the tower, up in Flora's tower specifically, and yet we have no idea of knowing how or why she died. When we went to speak with Flora, Flora did not say anything to us. She was actually completely silent the entire time, and so what we ended up needing to do after discovering a few puzzles up there, solving a few things, is we needed to come down and search everywhere else, leading us to the workshop and one Felix fellows. After we spoke with Felix and clicked around here, including solving a puzzle up here, revealing to us these three models. A model resembling a child with green hair, a model resembling a woman with gray hair, a model resembling a red and white bird, and a model resembling a broad-shouldered man. The one thing that we can't help but notice is that this looks like Felix, this looks like Freya, this looks like Freya, and this looks like Flora. So there very well may be something going on. Something a little unusual. However, we've only visited these two rooms, so there's a lot more to go. We did briefly peek inside this room, but let us keep going.
It's a little glass box.
I think it's a vivarium.
Come again?
See the leaves and twigs in there? Might have been for keeping insects.
Interesting, very interesting. This is quite an interesting room, interesting layout. It's a lot of drawing, a lot of artwork. I'm not really surprised. Let's just keep clicking around, see what else we can find.
Not the kind of lamp I choose for my bedroom, but fair enough.
It's cool. Looks like old mining equipment or something.
Alright.
Drawings, taped up on the wall.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people standing together in a garden. One of them's holding a red rose.
Interesting. A drawing of a man a man standing with a woman in a garden. He's holding a red rose. A drawing of a young woman. A drawing of a person wearing a cloak. This is a very interesting few drawings that we found here. They may mean nothing, they may mean everything. Who knows?
Freya's bear.
Looks pretty depressed.
He's had a rough couple of days.
Let me see. What else?
That painting is really something.
Why would you want it looming over your bed like that?
Maybe Freya enjoyed the atmosphere it creates.
The atmosphere of chaos and oppression?
Hang on. There's a smaller version down by the floor.
It's a photograph.
A small photograph of Freya's abstract painting. A piece of adhesive tape is stuck on it. Lines have been drawn with black ink around the edges. It's interesting so far. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. We have a magnifying glass. I didn't realize that. That may be useful later. Obviously, for any of you who are familiar with these types of games, all these point-and-click adventures, or point-and-click mystery games.
A pillow with a paw print pattern.
It's a cushion.
Yeah, but that doesn't alliterate.
Wow. You know, we are 100% in these early stages of, what's that? What the hell's that? Is that important? Who knows? I don't.
It's a little wooden box for paintbrushes.
To the casual observer, maybe.
I mean, that's a very ominous way of saying it, but let's take a closer look.
They're not real paintbrushes. Looks like they're part of some kind of lock mechanism.
Swap the brushes into the correct order. Arrange paper to find the clues. Okay. So let's see what we can do here. This does seem to go here. Maybe. Okay, this is like this. You gotta love clues. This goes here, I suspect. This goes here. This goes down here. And this is like this. What on earth? This tells me nothing. Useless. Oh, wait. Actually, no, it isn't. Is it? Maybe? So it has to do with the height, right? So we need... Okay, I see. Alright. So, are we talking like this? There's no orange, though, unless it's talking about an orange stick. This is trippy. Oh, we could, as always, unlock a hint if we so desired. So what is the... Small, long, green? It's like 4 here, though, and there's only 3 here. So I don't really understand what that might be for. So is this like talking about the... This goes here. Maybe. Hello? I have absolutely no idea. Someone probably may have already figured this out. I'm just gonna sit here and keep looking at this, saying that I have no understanding as to what I'm trying to look at. So we have height, tall and small. So, but I doubt that it has to do with the height overall, right? That wouldn't make too much sense. But what if this... No, but there's 2 that are small and 2 that are tall. So is this saying... Maybe this is saying like a pink... This is saying blue. That's all we know. But it says blue maybe on the 3rd line. So blue on the 3rd line. This is this, but it's pink. So it's the 2nd level with it being pink. This is the shortest orange? No, that doesn't seem right. I will not press this button. See, I wish I understood exactly what it means when it's taught for this. I mean, we could just, like, continuously swap this around until we either get it right or wrong. Okay, so let's think. Let's think here.
Let's take a break.
We're gonna have to come back to that. I cannot... I mean, let's just look around the rest of the room while we just kind of marinate on that.
Painting supplies.
Did Freya paint those animals on her ceiling?
They're kind of simplistic.
Maybe she painted them when she was younger. Did Freya paint those
They're kinda
Maybe she painted them when she was younger. That's weird.
What did you find in the drawers?
Nothing. They're completely empty.
That is strange.
Even though we're halfway up a tower, someone's been tracking in mud from outside.
Interesting.
Brushes, pencils...
They're clean, but they look pretty well used.
Brushes...
They're
Okay,
clean,
that's much
but they look
more
pretty
the
well used.
same.
Do you think this was always supposed to be a bedroom?
I don't know. It is kind of a weird shape.
That's definitely
No
what I
windows
think.
either.
This doesn't feel like a bedroom.
Do you think this was...
I don't
Alright,
know.
so it's
No
much
windows
more
either.
the same.
Just little trinkets.
Let's leave them alone.
Okay, nothing interesting.
There's no natural light in here at all.
I like it.
She's dark. She's a dark individual, that is for sure.
It's Freya's bed. A little bit messy.
It's a perfectly healthy amount of messy.
Man. He's taking offense.
Drawings.
What's that one on the left?
Looks like two people. One of them's holding a red rose.
Okay, so this is something we already knew about. Tower, case file, damage tape, harp statue. Yeah, we have a bunch of random stuff that we'll have to look through at some point again. Alright, let's
It's a little wooden
let's look
box
back
with
at this real quick.
paintbrushes.
To the casual observer, maybe.
Let's look closer. Oh, of course the entire thing comes back apart. It's very cool of it. Alright, let's quickly just put this right on back together. Just be sure that we're seeing the right thing. You see, I really am not too sure about this. So I think that each of these things, right, has to do with a different aspect. Okay? That's what I'm feeling so far. So, for example, this is a tall one. This is a short one, right? And it's saying, and these must be the sticks. Oh, actually, I'm starting to get this. Okay. So these are the sticks, right? So we have a short orange one here, right? So that's the short orange one. We know this has to go here. This has to be green, right? Which means that, and we know no other aspect of it. So it has to be green. That's the one thing we know. We have two options that are green. This next one has to be pink and have this like sort of triangular bristles. This one we know has to be this one because we need this this shape, but we know that this is the shortest one here and this is the only other one with that shape. So, and then this must be this. So the question comes down to which way do these go, I suppose.
Nothing.
Did you find a hint on those scraps of paper? It looks like a ripped up jigsaw puzzle.
So then this way.
I did it. What do I win?
Not bad.
Oh no, triple dots.
What was in the box?
Just a photograph.
Just a photograph.
Well, most of a photograph.
Not a whole photograph, only part of it. Interesting. A photograph of two young girls, one with red hair and the other with green hair. The photo has a large piece missing. It seems to have been ripped off. Okay, so this feels like, alright, ready? So this is Freya, this is someone else, and this is a third person, right? And the third person must either have the other half of the photograph or was very upset. Like this, they were upset, and so like this person betrayed them or something. And that's about it. That's all that's my great detective skills. That's what I'm getting out of it. So it feels like we've looked through this room perfectly fine. So on to the next mystery room. We have this out. Oh yeah, that's right. So we have this out here. We have these around here. So what we'll do is we'll just kind of just keep going. We'll go here, boom, 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 and then kind of go from there. Oh, so this is what's her face? This is the other person that was in the photograph. Okay. That's without a doubt.
It's an illustrated book about birds.
It's been left open. Looks like somebody was halfway through reading it.
Or it was left open for us to find.
That's always an option.
Ever so slightly unnerving.
That is a terrifying concept. Bird book. The ink dip is a remarkably intelligent bird with a very long lifespan, even among avian mystids. Other birds are often aggressive towards it, and the ink dip lives most of its life alone. It has particular feeding habits and usually only eats the seeds of the Tantum amica pictured. Interesting. Do you think this bird is the red and white bird? Where is it? Just keep pressing, keep going. I'm sure we'll find it eventually. Here we go. There it is. Oops. So it must be this bird right here, this poorly painted bird. This must be an ink dip. So I'm starting to wonder what's going on here. This seems very unusual. Alright, let's keep looking through everything before we start talking to this person.
Is that a snow globe?
Of sorts.
As always, let's look closer. This is Tangle Tower.
Hey, look at that. It's a model of Tangle Tower. There's the lake and those weird mountains. What are you thinking?
That would make an amazing souvenir.
Yep, leave it to Detective Grimoire to pick up the most important part of it.
Hey, look at that. It's a model.
All right, so
What
this
are you
is
thinking?
all
That
much
would
the
make-
same, but okay. This is a little bit of information, I suppose. It's interesting how we have a random snow globe here. All right, let's keep looking at everything.
What's in those bottles?
I'm not sure. Soil samples?
Interesting.
Books about ancient history, I think?
These books are ancient history. I think they'd crumble into dust if I tried to pick them up.
Good excuse.
Thanks.
Wow.
A book on the floor. Fundamental entomology.
I guess somebody dropped it.
Interesting.
Books about geography.
Skip.
Skip.
Books about insects.
Well, theoretically.
Theoretically about insects?
There's not a single book on that shelf.
Huh.
That's fair.
Books about space.
They're relatively untouched. Books about birds.
The shelves are about half empty.
Oh, so you're the shelves are half empty kind of person.
You knew this already.
Oh god, that's awful.
Books about nature?
Is he asking or telling us? Alright, I think that we pretty much clicked through about just about everything.
A chalkboard.
Is this a library or a classroom?
Let's look closer. We always got to.
Any idea what this means?
Not a clue.
This is interesting. This could matter later. But this doesn't feel like it matters now. At least not to us. So let's keep this in mind for the future, because this feels like it could be some sort of puzzle?
I'm not sure I learned anything from that.
Alright, well, let's talk to this person right here.
Curious. I would expect bacteria of that nature to thrive in these conditions.
Excuse me.
Taking all the environmental factors into account, there must be something I am still missing.
May I talk to you, miss?
She knows we're here. She just doesn't care.
I am a detective, and I need to talk.
Correction. You do not need to talk to me,
Oh no? How come?
because I am not a suspect. I am completely innocent of any and all crimes.
Thanks for letting me know.
Speaking of which, you have now been at Tangle Tower for over 23 minutes. Surely you have already reached a sturdy hypothesis.
A hypothesis about the murder?
Yeah, come on, Grimoire, hurry up.
My apologies. Unfortunately, protocol dictates I must at least meet all the suspects. And that includes you. So, could you tell me your name?
Fifi Fellow, microbiologist, inventor, innovator.
She sounds like a company. Alright, so let's talk about first
You will
yourself.
need to be more specific. Oneself cannot be summarized in a single response without doing one a great disservice.
So true.
Well, first of all, you're a fellow. So does that make you the daughter of...
Correct. My father and mother are named Flora and Felix, but you need not question either of them. It will only waste valuable time. Neither of them are capable of murder.
Thanks for the tip.
Fifi, you said you were a micro... something or other?
Microbiologist, but it is an insignificant label. My studies cannot be categorized in any one recognized field.
What made you want to become a scientist in the first place?
I harbor an intrinsic fascination with the microscopic. I constructed my first one at age 10.
Constructed a microscope?
Correct.
And what's that thing on your head? Did you make that too?
My eyesight began to deteriorate when I turned 12. Not satisfied with the eyeglasses prescribed to me, I designed this custom lens instead. It automatically adjusts based on the surrounding light conditions.
Does it glow red when you get angry?
No, but that would be most amusing.
That would be amusing. Alright, let's talk about yesterday.
What can you tell me about the murder?
What can you tell me about... Wait, that's what I'm supposed to ask you.
Yes, however, you were too slow.
You fancy yourself a detective too, Fifi.
I just need to know what happened.
Me too. So talk.
Fine. I knew ahead of time that Freya was going to be busy with her painting all day, so I had planned to spend the afternoon with Poppy. I was in the library all morning preparing the equipment for an experiment, only to find out that Poppy had made other plans and she was in fact planning to ignore me completely.
Oh.
So what did you do instead?
I locked myself in my room and cried.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Why?
I don't know, it just sounds kind of sad.
It is not unusual.
Oh. Good.
That's depressing. Very, very depressing. Alright, let's get their statement.
I was in my room. The lights were off and the door was locked. Someone began banging on the door. I ignored it until the someone began shouting at me. I opened the door. Poppy came into my room. Her makeup was leaking. She told me Freya was dead. I did not believe it. I thought she was playing a trick on me, so I punched her in the face. She insisted that we go up to Flora's tower. We left the room, and Poppy's father was waiting outside. He followed us upstairs. When I saw Freya lying on the floor, I was completely and utterly devastated. Then, I took a sample of the red paint on the unfinished painting. Poppy and I took the sample back downstairs to the library. We performed a test and found out that it was, in fact, blood.
You performed that scientific test immediately, even though you were feeling so upset?
Of course. Why would one affect the other?
Interesting. But what that also gives us a strong idea of is, again, the fact that the paint was blood, and so I'm, again, curious as to whether or not it was just blood the whole time. So we can show her things. Let's show her those two things.
This photograph is my favorite photograph.
So, why'd you rip it in half?
That was not me. Besides, it was not a half that was ripped off. It was only a third.
That's fair.
Do you know who was reading this book?
It belongs to my mother.
And she left it in the library?
No, my mother has not been in the library for some time.
It's interesting. I completely forgot that we're able to show people things. And we probably should have shown these items to Flint, because they were inside of his workshop, or the workshop that he was in, assumingly.
There is a drawing of me, a drawing of Detective Hawkshaw, and a drawing of Poppy and Fitz.
Okay, that's interesting.
I believe Freya was attempting to communicate something through this painting.
Any idea what it was?
I am not the person to ask. All I see is a blood-red mountain with angry storm clouds brewing above it. As such, I cannot ascertain any meaning from it whatsoever.
Okay. Well, this has most certainly been very interesting and a lot of good information. I think that we could probably show the rest of these things, but unfortunately that will have to wait for the next time. So thank you very much for joining me once again here at Point to Play Games. I appreciate you coming along, especially with there being such a long layoff since the last video came out. However, I'd look to start posting more to the channel more often and getting back into some sort of set schedule. Anyways, thank you very much for hanging out with me, and always remember to make a point to play games. Goodbye.